Welcome back to the BroCast. We're excited for another week of football. I'm Sean Andruff.
I'm Kevin.
Oh.
And I'm Ryan Andruff. And we
are the Parlay Bros.
So a lot happened last week. College football was crazy. Got a lot to cover there, a lot to cover in the NFL. And we might have a special guest, so stay tuned for that. Ryan, you want to kick us off with some NFL?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. 7 games were determined in the last 2 minutes of the NFL. So they called it the witching hour.
Oh, yeah.
And so a lot of us were having a nice cold pop and enjoying some of those games. And what I thought was crazy was the amount of block kicks. And so especially when it affected the outcome of games. And so when you think of the Rams versus the Eagles, the line is set at 3.5. If they block that kick and just fall over, the Rams still cover. He decides to take it 61 yards down the line, 400-pounder. I was excited for him.
Yeah.
He took it in there.
Took it to the house.
Took it to the house, and so the Eagles actually ended up covering that.
What a crazy way to do that.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Also, the same, and then minutes later in the Buccaneers game, we also see a block punt taken to the house as well.
Yeah.
And so
It was like back-to-back there, too. It was literally watching the Eagles do it, and then all of a sudden it was like, boom, it happened right there in the Bucs game. So
and you never see that, you know what I mean? And so it's crazy in that time. And then let's talk about Monday night game. How crazy was that? And so one thing we always talk about is rage betting. And so
Never happened.
never happens to any of us.
What's
And so if you lose a game like when Dallas gets destroyed by the Bears, and that's your play of the day, you then have to. We looked at the Ravens game. We're like, there's no way the Ravens are not going to keep this game close. It turned out they did not, because of our good friend King Henry, who fumbled
Yeah.
3 games in a row.
Three
Three games
That's
in a
like
row.
never
It
happened.
is.
It's totally, absolutely insane. And so
Wasn't it last season he went like 8 games without a fumble? Like, he doesn't fumble.
He doesn't fumble. And so it's amazing when you think of the last 2 minutes of a game, the amount of outcomes that change, and then the dynamic of just fumbling a ball at the end of a game. I mean, he did that against Buffalo in Week 1, and he does it again here against Detroit. And so it was a wild weekend, but that's why we love the sport.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why we continue to watch it.
I think with that game in particular, with the Lions, like if you notice most of those plays, like the defensive players, as soon as the snap, they were almost behind the players, right? So as King Henry is running up the line, he didn't expect what's his name? Hutchinson just come from the back, punches the ball out of his hands, and if a lot of the times for a lot of the plays, speaking of that game, because it was tied at half. So going to the first half, we're like, okay, this is a close game. I think it's 14-14.
It was.
And then all of a sudden, it was just like they just couldn't move the ball the way they wanted to. Yeah. And then every time I saw Lamar would just drop back, you have to step up, and he wouldn't expect it. He'd get tackled from the back. So many tackles from the back. I think they said there was 7 sacks in that game.
Yeah.
So Detroit really, really doing what they had to do at that game defensively, and then just running the ball and control the clock.
Yeah.
I mean, I think David Montgomery had 150 rushing yards. I mean, he's their second running back.
That was crazy,
That was a crazy game for him.
Both running backs to combine over 200 yards in that game. How insane is that?
Both running backs both had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, Detroit looked like they came back to form.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It just shows at the end of the year, all the injuries they had in the defense, now those guys are all back.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, that punch out was sick too. I saw it in slow motion. It's like textbook what you work on in practice. Punched it right out.
Yeah, exactly.
So are we going? Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
I was going to say, did you see Bijan?
Yeah.
Oh, one bet I won.
Yeah, they all count.
They all count.
So, 13 rushes for 72 yards, and again, a target monster. He had 6 targets, 5 receptions for 39 yards. I feel like, watching those yards every week is gonna be a good payout.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's the only positive thing to say about
the Falcons.
Losing 30-0 to Carolina. It was not pretty. It looked very bad. Matter of fact, if you watch the end of that game, they went back to Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
They put him in the game.
I was just going to say, one thing is I love Kirk Cousins. I watched the Netflix show Quarterback.
Yeah, me too.
And it makes you love the guy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I was excited to see him get a little playtime.
He's like your dorky uncle who just happens to play in the NFL.
Exactly.
Self-proclaimed.
And the other game I want to talk about was when I picked New England over Pittsburgh. I don't think it was the wrong pick, but you can't win a game when you have 4 fumbles.
Yeah.
When you have 1 from Drake May, 2 from Ramondre Stevenson, and then 1 from who was it? Antonio Gibson, right?
So,
Yeah. They pulled out Ramondre Stevenson because he fumbled twice, and then Gibson came in, fumbled, and then they took him out and they put in Travion Henderson.
In the locations of the fumbles too, it wasn't like they're midfield type of deal, and so that'll kill a team.
And Pittsburgh defense doesn't look great.
No, they don't.
It wasn't their fault.
No.
They didn't. They did not force these. They were trying to manufacture like rushing the quarterbacks, and it worked.
Yeah.
Even though I think they blitzed like 20 times, which is insane.
Yeah.
And that's that's the one that really hurt me.
And the great thing is, every one of these games we watch, it just gives us more information for the next week.
Yep. So we have breaking news. We have our golf commentator, Mr. Bo Lund's on the line here to help us out with the Ryder Cup.
Bo, you are live on the air with the Parlay Bros.
Hey, how you doing, gentlemen?
Very good. Thanks for joining the BroCast.
Appreciate the time. Thank you. A few thoughts on the Ryder Cup here. I hate to say this, but I kind of like Europe in this deal. USA's got 6 rookie players, not looking great. None of them are like particularly hot right now. Whereas Europe has 10 players returning. They have Rory, who's always great. Tommy Fleetwood just won the FedEx Cup, so they're kind of coming in hot.
Yeah.
Now, I know they're not getting, they haven't won on the away turf for, 13 years, but it is doable, even in the ridiculously tough climate that the Bethany deck is going to have.
Yeah, no, I love that play. It was interesting. We were talking earlier. It's hard to root against your team.
Yeah,
obviously, we want to root for the USA, but I really think the European team is stacked. We were looking earlier, they ranked the players 1 through 14, the top players, and obviously Scotty's number 1, but as soon as you get past Scotty, the next few, you got Rory, you got John Rahm, all those guys are the European guys. And so, Bo, I absolutely love that pick to go with the Europeans for the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, it kills me. I'm definitely cheering for USA, but if I had to put my money on a team, it's got to be Europe, I think.
Cool.
Oh, are there any side bets you're going to do, or any like inside the tournament bets you have besides who's going to win?
Any particular matches or anything that you're looking at?
I always kind of like the hole-in-one prop bet. So if anybody gets a hole-in-one, I think it's like 4-1, so it's a pretty good payout.
That'd be fun.
It's fun to watch, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was also going to say, I like DeChambeau at plus 475 for the lead American point getter.
Okay.
And if you want to stretch like Cantley, plus 850, he's always super good in these tournaments. For Europe, I think Rahm at plus 400 for top point scorer is pretty solid. And Tommy Fleetwood at plus 450 is also good. He's playing really well lately. So those are kind of what I was looking at for my picks.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining the cast. We really appreciate it. We'll go, as the season progresses, we'll bring you on for some more golf picks.
All right, gentlemen.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Bo.
Thank you.
Our first calling. We're getting big.
We're good. We're good. We got pictures of him on there.
The technology's there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was awesome that Mr. Bo Lund could help us out with some golf Ryder. Let's continue on the NFL.
Yep.
Picks.
And so kind of looking at this, now moving into this week, the 3 games I love Seattle. And so once again, when you look at Arizona, who they've played, they've only beaten terrible teams. They've only beaten the Saints and they've beaten the Panthers. As soon as they play anybody with any real talent, they lose. Especially the 49ers were decimated by injuries, and they were not able to handle that. It is a Thursday night game, but I do think Seattle on the road, with only a 1 point, I think they'll be able to cover that. The next game I love is Green Bay. So Green Bay, as you know, Micah Parsons came from Dallas. They're playing Dallas. And I really think Micah's going to play up for that. He felt disrespected leaving, you know what I mean? And also Green Bay losing the way they lost to Cleveland, I really think that they're going to have a bounce back spot here.
That loss was very surprising. I know it was a very low scoring game, and then it came down to that field goal. Definitely kind of different. I mean, it just kind of shows you how good the Browns defense is. I think they're ranked number 1 in a lot of categories, and they deserve to be. So I think that's definitely a defense to kind of look out for. So I mean, they help contain the other opposing team's offense to maybe kind of hit those unders. But I like that a lot. And then back to what you were saying too about Dallas. The fact that typically, like whenever a player comes back, they honor them. Just kind of give them an intro. Jerry did announce they will not do an intro for Mr. Micah Parsons. So he's going to take that to heart. And it's going to be. I would look for a player prop for Micah Parsons sack. If it's plus money,
I love that.
Because I think he's going to come for that.
He's going to bring everything he's got. And then the last game is the Chargers versus the Giants. Today's breaking news: they announced that the rookie's going to start.
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart's going to start.
Yeah.
The Russell Wilson experiment is over. I was actually a little surprised they didn't give Winston a shot. You know what I mean? I thought Jameson might get a little action there.
He'll get in there.
Yeah. And so, you figure a rookie, and plus the Chargers look so great. And so your rookie going against that Charger defense, I really feel the Chargers are the play there at 6 points.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how the rookie looks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited to see Jackson Dart play.
Yeah, because so far all of his snaps, every play he's done, he's just done the run so far. And so they've brought him in to do kind of the pro, but he's not thrown a single pass yet.
You're talking about Mahomes?
No, Jackson Dart.
Oh, Jackson Dart. Yeah. Exactly. They've kind of just put him in the schemes, and then they'll do him for like 2 plays, and then they'll pretty much put in Russell Wilson. So, but it was very odd and off to see Russell Wilson for that game because it was a primetime game against the Chiefs, I think Sunday night. And it was rough to watch. I mean,
what was so crazy is the first week he was terrible, the third week he was terrible, but against the Cowboys he looked so good.
It's like crazy.
450 yards.
But that's more of a detriment to the Cowboys.
Well, I was just going to say, that just
know?
shows how bad that Cowboys, as we all saw, the Bears rolled them as well.
Yeah.
Remember Fitzgerald when he had the big beard?
Yes.
He played for Miami and he had like ungodly numbers. He had the chain on.
Yes.
Sometimes that stuff happens, you know?
Yeah, he's getting those random games. So, so those are my 3 plays.
I like them a lot. I like those for sure, especially like I said. Oh, well, the Chargers. You talk about the Chargers?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So my 3 plays for this week are, I really like the Seahawks. Actually, I picked them in one of mine, but I'm not going to use that one. When we were actually looking at this yesterday, after looking for the rage bet, I guess, as we're talking about the rage bet, I saw that the Seahawks were the dog for a little bit. I'm like, money line 105? Absolutely, smash that. Today I wake up, they're a 1-point favorite, I think now. So funny how the line kind of moves and moves against you. So I guess I wasn't the only one rage betting out there. First pick I like, and speaking of betting against your team, right? We'll talk about Team Europe versus USA in the Ryder Cup. I'm picking the Eagles 3.5. Diehard Bucks fan. The only thing is we have another injury with Mike Evans' knee, probably out for like 3 to 4 weeks.
I
so
saw
we have
that.
another receiver, a main weapon down. I don't know if we quite get Chris Godwin back. If we do, it's his first week back for the season. I mean, Ibuka was a little banged up going into that game. So now we have a little banged up Ibuka. Maybe we get Godwin back. We lost, I think 2 weeks ago, we lost a starting lineman. So we're trying to make things happen, but it's going to be tough. And as much as I love my Bucks being 3-0, it's like, those 3 games came down to the last drive.
100%.
It's come, and then if you watch the Eagles side, the Eagles finally got their passing game on. So we know that they're not going to be able to run the ball against us because we're just a really good run defense. But we're susceptible to the ball. And if you have to decide between AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard, and then Saquon catches the ball as well. I mean, I think they're gonna pretty much beat us and at least by at least 3.5. So my first pick is Eagles 3.5.
I like that too. And that's in Philly, isn't it?
And no, it's at home.
It's
That's what hurts even more. It's in Tampa. It's a home game for
I think
us.
when you have 3 games that come down, I mean, the 3 games the Bucks have won have been like nail biters. They're like amazing games if you watch those games. It's just hard to play up a 4th week after dodging bullets 3 weeks in a row. It catches up to you.
And what you said, is the amount of injuries. Those pile up, and you figure even if Godwin plays, he doesn't have the rhythm yet.
No.
I mean, it takes time for a quarterback and receiver to have that rhythm. So I totally agree to play.
And then back to the Eagles. It's like they're kind of getting into rhythm now because if you watch the first, we talked about it last week. The first 2 weeks they weren't barely passing the ball at all. I think AJ Brown was in the sideline reading books again. This week that just passed, he was not reading anything. He was just catching catching great balls and touchdowns and all kinds of stuff. So I think the air attack would pretty much be our weakness there.
But one question on that: would you think about targeting some AJ Brown props?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was thinking the same thing.
AJ Brown will definitely.
Because as you mentioned, our defense can stop the run, and so when you think about the Buccaneers stopping the run, that then opens it up for AJ Brown.
So picture this, right? Bucks are back at home, so now you have AJ Brown on one side. Let's say you have Devontae Smith on the other. You have Goddard right there. You have Saquon in the backfield. You have Jalen Hurts, right? So that's 5 key players around the offense. Everyone takes off, snap goes, right? Everyone's trying to come as far as the line. All Hurts has to do, if he doesn't find something he likes, is just roll around, and he's fast, he's agile. I just see that being an ugly game for us, unfortunately, and it's going to be hard to keep up with their defense because their defense is also connected with them as well. So that's their first pick.
In the games, like the middle of the field for the Bucs opponent is very soft. You notice that? Those slants, those kind of like slower, like tight end drifts over the middle, those just seem to be hitting. So like they've kind of left that like almost like not a prevent, but they're sort of keeping everything in front of them. So I think like Hurts could just kind of 5-6 yard drops in the middle.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
He doesn't have to do anything fancy to score some points against us. So, second pick I like. Coming off of Monday Night Football, a loss to the Detroit Lions. I think this is more of a step up for the Lions. And the Ravens, I don't know if they weren't expecting it because they were at home, but it was kind of tough to see the second half as far as them not kind of progressing. I think the Ravens will make some good adjustments, and I think I'm going to take the 2.5 points over Kansas City. Speaking of Kansas City, they just won their first game of the season, right? Yep. They beat the Giants. But as far as like between the two teams right now, who's in better form, it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens, and I think that they'll make some adjustments. What do you guys think about that pick?
I like it, and I also think that Henry's probably going to have an amazing game.
He's going to come back.
He's not fumbling.
Yeah, because look at Cam Scatterbo. He rushed for quite a bit. That team is very open to the run, and if they start running that ball early, I mean, at that point, you're just going to leave yourself open to the receivers. Where, speaking of that, Zay Flowers was not a factor at all yesterday.
Not at all.
He was not targeted, so we'll see some more. You'll see more things happen, I think, in the Baltimore. I think they just have a better squad altogether.
Thinking about rage betting, when you're just like pissed, you lost the game, and you're like, that's it, I'm dropping a bomb. I think Henry's going to be rage rushing.
Yes.
Because did you see how mad he was? He was throwing his helmet.
He was so mad.
You could like just feel how upset he was with himself.
Because 3 games in a row now he's fumbled.
Yeah. I think he's going to have a breakout game.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is, as you mentioned, the Chiefs won their first game against the Giants. And we've been talking about the fact that the Giants changed their quarterback because Russell Wilson played so poorly. Yeah. So was that win more of a Chiefs win, or was that win more of a Giants loss?
It's true, because it was getting kind of ugly, and for a little while it was kind of closer. I was able to live bet some a little bit better number that I liked for the Chiefs, but I mean, for a little while they kind of kept up with them at that point. I think third quarter, fourth quarter, they just kind of ran away with it at that point. So last pick, if I have to pick the third one I kind of like the most, would be the Broncos at home against Cincinnati. It's a Monday Night Football game.
Ooh, nice.
Right now they're a 7-point favorite. That line will probably shift a half point away from you if it hasn't already. I just think that for me, it's like, if you have to ask me which team's getting better, it's going to be the Broncos. Sean Payton, it just has a great mind when it comes to the offense, and if he could just keep Bo in control as far as where he has to throw the ball and stuff like that too, they just have a better offense and a better defense. Because I don't know if you guys watched that game with the Bengals, it was bad.
We watched that whole entire game, and they looked so bad.
Yes, it was tough. It was tough. The Vikings just have taken a step forward. I felt like the Bengals took 2 steps back. Jake Browning did not look good.
No, he did not. He did not.
So those are my 3 picks for this week's football.
I love it. The one thing we forgot to mention is the lucky duck is in front of Sean. So Sean had the...
I don't want to be braggadocious, but I was 2 of 3 last week. I'll cover that in my college picks. Moneyline Kevin, what do you have going on?
Okay, so for me, I have some good picks, I think.
No pressure, but this could be yours next week.
That would be nice. Okay, so my first pick going into Thursday, Seattle at Arizona. So the points right now, the point line is at 43.5. I think because it's a primetime game, it's going to go above that. I know Seattle has a good defense. Arizona allows points. It might just be a Seattle reaching 44 points. But I feel like that will actually get over. Primetime games are always fun to watch. They're usually there's a little madness thrown in there, so I feel like that'll be a good line.
I like it.
So my second pick, which is actually probably my favorite one, which I should have started with, is Indianapolis at plus 3.5 against the Rams. So they're playing in Los Angeles, and the Colts have looked really good.
3-0?
Yeah, really good.
They've been playing well, and I feel like they can put up a fight against the Rams. The Rams have done really well this year.
Also 3-0.
Yeah, also 3-0.
Yeah.
But I feel like that the Colts will keep it within a field goal.
Go ahead. Speaking of 3-0 teams, we have the Eagles 3-0. Bucks 3-0. One of them can't both walk away, with victoryless, and then you have your team as well. So I think that it's a good point.
I love it, and I think that'll be quite a shootout because I think both offenses are really clicking.
Absolutely.
And so I think that might be a game you want to target the over.
Absolutely, I would definitely look at that.
That as well. And then for my third pick, I am going with the Las Vegas Raiders playing at home at -1 over the Chicago Bears. So these teams are kind of evenly matched. I know a lot of people are probably going to stay away from this game. It's basically a pick 'em.
Yep.
But I feel like the Raiders are going to come out on top. They may even just win by 1 point.
So the question on that money line, Kev, is when you see a spread of -1, do you take the -1 or do you do money line?
Well, the juice is better on the -1s,
It is.
So I'm just going to go with that.
I was just thinking the same question there.
It's the same as the money line.
It's funny because for me, like I was looking at that bet and I was trying to decide. I'm like, man, are the Bears stepping up, getting into rhythm? Or is it Geno kind of finding his figure out? I opened up my app and I gave it a sniff. It was bad meat. I'm glad that one of us has to do it.
That expiration date is 1 day past.
Yeah, 1 day.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. One of these might get erased later on in the week when I start seeing the player props.
So keep an eye out for a short.
Yeah, keep an eye out for
exactly.
a short because
Yeah.
the player props haven't been posted yet.
Yeah.
I looked on Hard Rock Bet. I looked
And
on
Moneyline
DraftKings.
Kev knows player props.
Nothing's in there yet,
Yeah.
and of course I want to keep watching Bijan.
Yep.
But another one I'm interested in is looking at Drake May rushing yards.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay,
I think they're playing. Who are they playing this week? They're playing the Commanders, right?
So what do you think that his over/under yards?
New England is playing Carolina.
Oh, they're playing Carolina.
In
Even
New
better.
England. Even better.
So, so when New England was playing Pittsburgh, Drake May ran. I think it was 5 times, but he ran for 45 yards.
Okay,
total.
wow. Yeah. That's
So
That's
if
a
they
lot,
if they set the line at 25,
great. Yeah.
I feel good about that.
Yeah.
So that might be something that I'll jump in on, and so that's keep an eye out for that. I might throw something out there later, and we'll see what happens.
I like it. I have a question for you guys. When there is a pick'em game, if it's basically pick'em or -1, how much do you put in the home team? If it's like a pick'em and this team's home versus away, how much like point spread do you give the home team for the advantage?
Depends on the
If
team
any.
for me. It really depends on the team.
It depends on the team because a lot of times home field advantage doesn't exist as much
Totally
as in
agree.
college.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you see Cleveland and Detroit, Baltimore and Detroit when they played on Monday. Detroit ran away with the game in the end. So
How about this one, for example? The Giants playing the Chiefs. The Giants were booing the entire fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You could hear it on TV.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about a home crowd? It's like hurting you. You're just you're starting to feel shame.
It's like when the Yankees play the Rays and you're like, where am I?
Yeah.
All right, are we good on NFL? Any other
Absolutely.
picks?
Feel
Did
good
you
about
make
it.
3 picks?
I
thought
did.
I only heard 2.
Yeah, no, I got Green Bay, I got the Chargers, and I got Seattle.
Green Bay was the first one.
Yeah.
Green
Thank
Bay.
you for your service. We are squared away. College football has been wild.
Yes.
So did get got 2 out of 3 last week, which I'm excited about. It's just been fun to watch. Like it's been crazy. I'm going to go through a couple things last week. A couple things surprising for me was Iowa and Rutgers. They hit the over with 68 total points. I think Iowa figured out what the forward pass is after 97 years of playing football. They had 38 points alone.
Yeah.
So I did not touch that game. I definitely wouldn't have picked the over. So kudos to Iowa. Their offense.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you think of Iowa, all you think of is defense.
Yeah, and they still have a great defense too. So they've been kind of fun to watch. A game I did bet money on and was correct was Miami beating the Florida Gators. They won 26-7. They easily hit the 6.5 line. We all talked about this last week. I felt really good about that coming into it. Like Miami's like a gravy train with biscuit wheels. They're just rolling. And we talked about the throne of lava for Billy Napier in Florida.
Yeah.
They're just cooking. So that was kind of an easy call.
Yeah, as we mentioned last week, to win the national championship was 16-1. We said get on that bet. It's now currently 10-1. I still think that's a great bet to get on.
It
They're
is.
currently ranked second, and you think of a team ranked second, 10-1.
That's crazy.
Those are great numbers.
That's a great number.
And so I know a lot of us jumped on the 16-1 last week. I still think 10-1 is still playable.
I do too. Their power ratings number 2, right behind Ohio State.
That's correct.
According to CBS. Another game that I was on and liked, I mentioned it on the BroCast last week. Florida State, it was a 44-point favorite against the Kent State Golden Flashes. Not a lot of flashing going on last week. They beat them 66-10.
Yeah.
So they definitely covered. I thought they would because I mentioned it on the last show. Kent State was ranked 136 out of 136 teams.
Yep.
The worst power ranking in all of college football. I don't know if Florida State's going to roll teams that much every week, but that was kind of a layup for them.
And after watching that game, I actually texted our crew here and said, hey, we need to go to that Miami-Florida State game. So it's not this weekend, but the following weekend I'll be up in Tallahassee.
There you go.
Very cool.
Oklahoma, 24-17 over Alabama. They covered. It was a 6.5-point spread. We called that as well. I mentioned last week Oklahoma's defense is very stout. They're playing great. Auburn's still kind of a mystery. So, we covered that one. One game we did not win, which was very disappointing, was Texas Tech beating Utah on the road 34-10. I watched a lot of that game. There was a kind of a pivotal moment where Utah scored again, and it was only, I think, a 3-point game.
That's correct.
And then all of a sudden, I'm hanging out with my family, and then boom, it's 34-10. They just tore it off.
Yeah, it was actually very interesting. Texted me. He's like, should we put some more money on Utah? Because they're coming back. And we're like, we should. Wrong move.
Yeah, that was wild. Like Ron Burgundy said, that escalated quickly.
It did.
All right, so let's get to this week. It's week 5 in college, week 4 in the NFL.
Yep.
So we're almost, a third of the way in. We're starting to get some data points on these teams,
Yep.
kind of get them into a groove. Here's some games that I like, and then I'll give you my top 3 of these picks. We can talk about them. 8th-ranked Florida State is going on the road to play Virginia, and anybody want to take a guess of what the line is? How many points Florida State's getting?
And so, first of all, they're both 3-0.
3-0.
So it won't be double digits, which will be a little high, I guess, for that. Let's go with over a touchdown because it'll probably be leaning towards Florida. 8.5.
Very close. You should have your own podcast. So Florida State's a 7.5-point favorite.
Over a touchdown.
Let's go, yeah.
That's it.
I kind of like I think Florida State's going to cover that.
I think so, too. Florida State's look really good
I
this
feel
year.
like they just have a lot more kind of cooking. I know Virginia is 3-0, which is awesome, but they're just, ACC, between their conference, it's a conference game. So I think that Florida State's going to take that one. Another big game, I can't wait to watch this one. This one is going to be interesting. Penn State, the whiteout, at night, Saturday night, is hosting Oregon.
Yep.
Now, Penn State's a 3.5-point favorite. I don't know. I was looking at this one. I don't even know if I like the 3.5. If I had to bet it, I think I would pick Penn State at home, just that environment. I'd probably go Kevin money line.
I was just going to say,
Penn State to win.
For me, that'll be in some parlays as a money line play.
I'm not putting points on that.
Because 3.5 is, as you know, when you have that hook in there, and Oregon's a great team. And so, but I like Penn State at home.
I do too.
The knee lines, I think they definitely. I mean, back to your point, it's the hook that gets you. It's
The
a
hook,
field goal,
yeah.
and it goes down. That those close games get to that. So why not?
Definitely.
Yeah. By the way, I went into our app and I tried to move the point spread down to 2.5. You can't.
Oh,
For those games, they don't even let you.
Yeah.
So
it might be early. Check later.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
A couple other games. USC, who's really playing well. They've looked really good. Their quarterback's playing awesome. They took care of business against Michigan State. They beat Purdue on the road and looked good. They are laying 6.5 points against Illinois, which, by the way, last week was very shocking. The Illinois-Indiana game, I think, was like 4 or 5 points. It was kind of like right in there. Indiana beat them, I think, 66-10.
Wow.
63 to 10.
Crazy.
63 to 10.
Yep.
I could not believe it. Like, that's what's crazy about college football. I mean, in the NFL too. But 63 to 10 on a game that was like prime time and very close.
Oh yeah, both ranked teams.
They just blew them out.
Yeah, both ranked teams.
I kind of feel like I don't think Illinois is going to come back and be like, all right, we got to man up. I think they're just like, mojo's down. That's a pretty bad beating. It's humiliating.
It is.
USC's kind of surging on the up. So 6.5 points. I love USC in that spot. Another game that's coming up. It's at noon. No, I'm sorry, 3:30 is the kickoff, and that's Notre Dame playing Arkansas. Notre Dame looked really good on offense and really bad on defense last week. Their defense, Chris Ash, the defensive coordinator, no bueno this year. We miss Al Golden. But CJ Carr, I don't know if you guys saw this, but CJ Carr, the redshirt freshman, who's Lloyd Carr, head coach of Michigan's grandson,
Yep.
one of the highest recruits that Notre Dame's grabbed in a long time. He had a 93.3 passing rating, which was the highest rating of any Notre Dame quarterback since they started keeping track of this in 2014. He was 12 for 10, about 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. He just is playing excellent.
Well, I was going to say what's so crazy about that. At the beginning of the year, Notre Dame had such a debate of who to start.
Yes.
They've really truly chosen the right guy.
Yeah, I think they're going to cover that 5.5. I think they win that game outright. And there could be. I would watch the over too because their defense sucks. Arkansas's defense is not good. Both teams can put up points.
Yep.
Another game that I like is UCF. The Golden Knights are a 6.5-point underdog against Kansas State. Now, here's what's crazy. It's on the road. But Kansas State is rated 67 on the power rating, and UCF is rated 60. So I don't know how much everybody puts into these power ratings, but to have a higher power rating, a better power rating, and you're laying 6.5 points, I'm not saying that UCF's going to win outright, but I think that game's going to be within a field goal.
Yeah, and that's a really good matchup in the Big 12 because we start to think of now we're starting to get in Big 12 play. When you start to get in conference play, these games really matter. As you know, they start the season off with some non-con games. Now we're in conference play, so this is going to be a big deal for the Big 12.
Yeah, no, it'll be a fun one to watch. Vanderbilt is 4-0, and I don't know if you guys watched the SEC show on Netflix. Did you watch that?
I did.
It was really cool. They did a whole thing on Vanderbilt and their coach, who's an alumni there.
Yep.
They are laying 22.5 points against Utah State. They just rolled last week. So I feel like this is another game where they could just tear this thing up.
Well, as you mentioned, watching the SEC is just different. I actually like during the games they say, we take sports different here. And they truly do. And so, I mentioned it before when you watch, I mentioned before the ACC playing the American. When you play different conferences, you're just bigger. You're just better.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that.
I do too. Now, this game's going to be a fun one. Ohio State, who's just cooking, man. They look so good on both sides of the ball. They are going to Seattle to take on the Washington Huskies. They are an 8.5-point favorite. I kind of thought that was a little bit low. Now, I know Washington's playing well, but Ohio State is just so good that I like the Buckeyes to cover that. Both teams are undefeated. It should be a really fun game to watch. I'm kind of curious to see how it all plays out.
Yeah. Hey, I remember last week you bet on Washington versus Washington State. How did that game go?
I don't remember betting that one, actually.
Oh, Sean did.
It was probably Sean, yeah.
Yep.
Washington won. They're undefeated.
There you go.
I got 2 games left. Both of these games I really love. Ole Miss is playing LSU, and Ole Miss is a 1.5-point favorite, and I feel super good about that because if you look at LSU, who do they beat? They beat Clemson.
Yeah.
Terrible. And they beat Florida. Not good.
So
they got 2 wins that were not that great now. At first, we're my gosh, they beat Clemson. They beat the Gators. It's that's not impressive anymore. And also, their defense is playing excellent, but their offense has been pretty stagnant.
Which is amazing because their quarterback was in the Heisman race, but as you mentioned, they haven't been playing that great. He's kind of falling back.
So that's one of my top picks. I really, really like Ole Miss. I think they win by a field goal, maybe a couple points more, but 1.5 seemed like that's kind of a layup, I feel like. We'll see about next week when we do the show. But
and actually mentioning the Heisman race, the number 1 guy, Oklahoma quarterback, announced today he's going to be out for multiple weeks with his thumb injury.
Yes. Yeah. My last game is Georgia at home is a 2.5-point favorite over Alabama. Georgia is 5th ranked in the country. Alabama is 17th ranked. I just feel like Georgia is in such a good position after that Tennessee win, which was kind of a nail biter. Like being at home, big game against Alabama. Obviously, they're going to play up for it. Alabama losing to Florida State the first week. They're kind of having a weird season. I think this is just a really kind of a trap game for Alabama. I think I just have a good feeling that Georgia's going to win by a touchdown, maybe even more.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of games I threw out there.
I was just saying, pick your top 3.
Okay. So if I had to choose 3, I'm going to say Georgia at home, 2.5 over Alabama.
Yep.
The second game is Ole Miss, 1.5 over LSU. I can just see it in my mind right now. You know how Brian Kelly just rages when he loses?
Yes.
I'm going to call it the Smurf. I think this guy is going to get so mad, his face is going to turn blue. So keep an eye out for the Smurf. And I can't wait for that post-game presser when he just loses it, when they ask him all these questions about their quarterback, how come their defense didn't look as good as it used to. And just look for the Smurf. We'll find out. But I think Ole Miss is going to roll, go Rebels. And my last game is I do think UCF getting 6.5 against Kansas State. I think they're going to win that one out as well. So those are my 3 picks.
I love it. It would be fun to see who gets the duck next week, gentlemen.
I know.
Yeah. The duck is open for grabs. And I'm looking forward to this Brian Kelly Smurf face.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. And look forward to this week as they announce the lines for player props. We'll definitely do some shorts.
Yes. Yeah. And Kev, where can everybody find us?
You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your normal podcast.
Yeah. And we're still working on the merch. These shirts are shrinking. We're not getting fatter. Maybe just a little bit, but there's debatable. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. And good luck on your bets.
See ya.
Take it easy.